Well, it looks like we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. How's everybody? What's up, Rain Dancer? Olivia 2. 2 a.m. What's up, Apple? Morning. Got Mandy Ray, Purdue. Good morning, Purdue. Beach Ferry, Phil, Rescue, and Ivy. Oh, and Peter. I was going to make a video, but I decided it might be easier just to do it this way. Got Chavalita. Hello, Tamra. Jill. Good to see you, Jill. Grunge Truck. We were talking from the beginning, claiming that he possibly gave Richard the catfish information. Yeah, and we're going to go over that for sure, because that's what I think may have happened. You know, that's why Kegan was like, take my DNA, take my blood, take a hair follicle, take a polygraph, you know, because he knew he had really had no involvement. He was just withholding information. Good to see you, Grunge, Julianne, Sela Stingy, Boston. What's up, Boston? Kiwi, happy Sunday. Tamra. CJK. Tommy Baker. What's up, Tommy? Yep. You know it, man. I got me a big cup of coffee. Man, I put this whole video together and I was like, nah, screw it. I'm just going to go over all the information with you guys here live. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate your participation. Good morning, TTM. Grunge says, I wouldn't be surprised if they link these two through computer or phone records. Yeah, because sometimes we think that Kegan is the one kind of setting up shop for other CSAMers to kind of come and purchase from him. But I mean, he could be a customer himself. And let me go ahead and lay out my top 5. You guys will hang out after I go over my top 5. And if you have any other information that you think connects him to that crime, or even something that kind of proves that he had nothing to do with it. If you have information that is kind of pulling him further away from the Delphi case, we should talk about that too. But my top 5 here is that he told Kelsey that he was supposed to meet her. Put that as number 1. Number 2 was the huge CSAM ring. You know, the killer could be anybody involved in that, for all we know. The 8 a.m. login and log out, specifically into the Snapchat account. Remember, this used to be the Snapchat murders. We also know that the last communication sent out were via Snapchat. And we know that some of the hackers, these more, what are they called? Moral hackers? They're out there helping. They're trying to stop these predators. We had one, Alex. He gained access to everything but the Snapchat, is what he told me. So I'm wondering if that's where the answers lie with that log in and log out at 8 a.m. And the man on the screen here doesn't look like an 8 a.m. kind of guy. Also, with him going to Vegas, we're like, well, what was he doing in Vegas? Does that play a part in the Delphi case? Remember, he didn't go to Vegas alone. We might need to start viewing Kegan as a tag along for some of these scenarios. Yeah, he's in Vegas. Is he the one? Does he even know why they're there? Maybe he has no clue. And number 4 would be the Samsung Galaxy S5. This is, I'm going to dub this the Vegas burner phone. And number 5 would be the phonetics. And we've been talking about that in the Discord for a couple days. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. Let's see if we got any stragglers. Lynn. What's up, Lynn? Okay, this is page 134. They asked Kegan, so Anthony Shots, so when they were asking, did you send her images? You said no because you didn't, but Anthony Shots did. No, because I don't remember sending them anything. See, now I think this is where we're going to agree to disagree or just completely disagree. But I'm starting to think that Kegan may not be responsible for some of the CSAM's charges. Especially if some of them have to do, he seems revolted by some of the things, and then other things he seems really confused by. Like, it's almost like he didn't even know that it was illegal to solicit from somebody that age. And then whenever he hears anything about like anything younger, he gets revolted. He doesn't want to talk. He needs an attorney. And we'll discuss that part too. Okay, well, I'm telling you, there's 3 off the bat, and he's talking about images that Anthony Shots sent. We all have seen those. I'm going to skip this page. Let's see, page 157. Okay, this is where he deletes. The only thing he's ever deleted off of any of his devices was from his personal phone. Okay. Says here, people from your residence. I mean, all that 100% sure. So they've locked down the location to the Canal Street residence. We know for a fact. So remove yourself from it, from the bullshit, and trying to pick out every individual piece. It starts to stack. It just keeps stacking. The phone, your phone that you had, your search history was deleted from February 10th to February 15th. There's nothing in between. So now that's interesting about that is all those other phones have complete history and nothing's gone. And this is when the other investigator chimes in. He says, so during the time frame where this grooming would have been built up to meeting is gone. It's wiped away from your phone. Okay. Now, this is the phone that he said he came home and he found it on top of the microwave. He never said anything about it being inside the microwave. That was basically a misprint by media. Not sure they even went and read the transcript, to be honest. Okay. And we'll just throw this in here because it really could be its own category. And that would be, let's see. It says, so we have the day you gave your polygraph and your interview. You were steadfast, and I met them in the beginning of February, like the first or second. You were steadfast. You never came off that. I never spoke to her beyond February 1st or 2nd. And the guy says, look, we know you spoke to her the day she was murdered. You said, absolutely not. I blocked her. She was annoying me after the first or second, right? You have these images. You saying that's not you, know. Those aren't real nudes. What are you good for? We have these grooming pictures. We have the money, the Anthony Shots money account going to her. Okay. And they don't really talk a whole lot about that. There's not a whole lot of details provided, but think about it. If he's talking to 15 to 50 people on average, he's just playing the numbers game like, hey, somebody's going to fall for the ruse, for the Anthony Shots ruse. But he's not sending money to all of these people. So this could be somebody else sending the money. Let's see. This is page 183. It says here, this is, I think, when Kelsey reaches out. Did you hear what happened to Liberty? Anthony Shots responded, OMG, what happened? And then she goes and tells him what happened. And then Anthony Shots says, well, I was supposed to meet that girl, but she never showed up. So it's almost like this person is saying, well, I was there. I went to meet them. That's kind of like something it looked like Richard Allen was doing. Like he was there to meet somebody, but he knew once he exposed who he was that they were going to make fun of him. They're not going to play that game, dude. The only reason they're talking to you to begin with is because they thought you were some good looking, successful dude. Not some troll. So, I mean, what if she's not even talking to? Now, what's really scary is that apparently she used a friend's account and was reaching out to the friends list and was like, hey, this is Kelsey. Libby's missing. Have you heard anything? I think that's what she was putting out through somebody else's phone. And I believe this other person may have been stalked at some point or something along those lines. So that might be another tie-in. Also ask here, but who then would have access? So that's what he's looking for. This investigator is looking for the other person. They don't believe that that's Kegan Kline. Supposed to meet that girl, but she never showed up. So let's focus on that one conversation of evidence we know is true. And it doesn't matter if you remember it or not. He's like, right, but maybe I don't. But who then would have had access? Who would have said that then if it wasn't you? Supposedly is the only one who had access. He says nobody. So Kegan knows or was convinced by somebody. It doesn't matter how he helps on the Delphi case. He's still facing charges. Even if he had one count, let's say only one of those charges was actually him, right? And somebody else was like, oh man, I can't believe you have access to this. Let me take over. They may have been able to convince him, like, it doesn't matter, man. You're going down. Why involve me? Why would you snitch me out when you're going to get in trouble anyway? He may have been convinced of that. And he may have recently realized that. Like, man, I can't do 36-year consecutive sentences. I can't handle that in a real prison. especially when they're telling him right here, hey, we don't think that's you, buddy. Like, why are you doing that? He's saying, I said, like, nobody had access but me, so I don't. So then it was you who said that. See, they're like, well, if you're not going to tell us, man, we're going to pin it on you. What I'm saying is, I don't remember saying that, but it had to be me if I'm the only person. They're like, right. So why would you say I was going to meet her, but she never showed up? Why would you say that? And then he's like, well, why would I ever meet somebody? He's like basically saying, like, guys, you know, I'm not going to tell you, but I'm also not going to fess up to anything. So through this entire interview, they're trying to find out who else was using these devices. See, this is page 184. They're basically saying, well, we need to know who said that. We need to know who said who that they were going to go meet her. You know, who said that? His response is, I'm saying I probably said that, but what I'm saying is I would never go meet someone. The girl I have now, I wouldn't even meet because I was like nervous because of all the stuff that happened. Another interesting question by investigator says, and I can see that happening. I mean, I can see you making a statement of, oh man, this girl wants to meet. She's going to the high bridge today. And then whoever you told that to. Yeah. So they could have, it could have been, I don't know. I mean, she could have been speaking with somebody completely different than Kegan Kline. But it would have to be in that home. Another question is, but then again, we have to go back to that one narrow scope of conversation where we're looking at. Why would you say that to that other person? Why would you say, as Anthony Shots, I was going to meet that girl and she didn't show up? He says, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that could explain the ski mask. You know, people are communicating with the killer and basically saying, hey, I have information, you know, like I know about you. Oh, you know all about me? That means you might lead law enforcement to come arrest me for a double murder. Let me go ahead and put on this ski mask and prevent that, just like I did, you know, a few days prior. I think it's possible that the ski mask character, if it's true, um, could very well be Richard Allen or the other person that helped him, if there is that, if that person exists. Here is the Barb McDonald conversation. This is page 4. Barb McDonald asks Kegan, so do you remember the night of the 13th, the night that the girls went missing? Do you remember communicating with Kelsey German? He says, no, I don't. Has anybody else had access to this Anthony Shots account? He says, I mean, I lived with my dad, but I don't know. Question from Barb says, do you think your dad could have been accessing that profile? Kegan says, yeah, I do. Let's go spend some time here in the chat. Regular Mo says, him searching the gas station that close to Richard Allen the day of is way too sus. Very sus. And I have yet to see that. I still don't have that listed in my brain as factual information, you know. I think it came out from the murder sheet and I think they were quoting a source on that one. So it'd be great to get some verification. I don't know. Maybe somebody could reach out to the gas station. Let's give them a call, you know, like, hey, what was going on with the FBI? They came to get the video or something. Maybe they can verify it. I think there was a statement that came out from the FBI, right, that kind of verified that information. I could be mistaken. I need to find that. Thanks for reminding me on that one. Regis says, I think it's possible that KK was involved, but I also think it's possible that KK was something like falsely incriminated by BG. However, I still think he knows something about the murders. Yeah, it seems easy, right? And that's one of those conspiracy theories that kind of writes itself, like some highly intelligent predator catfishing the catfish, you know? That's kind of like a shill miller thing. He denies telling Kelsey that he was supposed to meet Libby. Yeah, he denies basically that conversation took place, because I think it's possible that it was somebody else. If he's giving access to the Anthony Shots account and law enforcement says 100 times we believe there's other people, and they're using science, they're using phonetics, and they're using common sense. Um, yeah, is it possible that Kegan goes into character and kind of changes those things up on his own? Yeah, but it just doesn't seem like they think that. Let's see. This is from page 134 from Kegan Kline's interview transcript. Says, okay, well, I'm telling you, here's 3 right off the bat. Here's another one. He's talking about the photos. Couple more, actually. Then here's one sent specifically to her. So it looks like it went from sending her friend photos, and then somehow it branches off. And then here's one sent specifically to her. So I wonder if this branch here is where it leaves Kegan. So when they're asking, did you send her pictures? You said no because you didn't, but Anthony Shots did. So they're trying to clear this up. Like, are you just trying to say like me didn't, like Kegan didn't, but it was Anthony Shots, the character that I was playing? They just want to make sure that they have it clear. Like, are you telling us that you personally didn't send these? Well, somebody did. Now, why would he not admit to all the rest of this? Look, no, because I don't remember sending them anything. Okay, well, I'm telling you, here's 3 of them off the bat. And then here's one sent specifically to her. Is it bad that I'm super into you? Like, I feel like that's somebody else right there. Like they're trying to create, like I'm super into you. Like what? Kegan says, would say to every one of those girls. I mean, it was the same thing with every one of those girls. Exactly. But he wasn't sending every one of those girls money. It's there. I just don't believe that. I don't even think he was sending anybody other than Libby money. Investigators, but when you're telling me that you never sent her, or Anthony Shots never sent her, Kegan says, because I don't remember ever sending her anything. I don't remember ever even talking to her. I remember talking to her friend. Like, you're like, think you're going to catch me in a lie, and I'm not really lying to you at all. So why admit to talking to the friend? Like, that part doesn't make sense. And I know it's all these half truths and all, that type of strategy, but usually that's when you're explaining your side of things. He's accepting half of this. And then at the bottom here it says, and they basically tell him, yeah, we know you're lying. You've been caught in plenty of lies. Kegan's like, I don't have any reason to lie. Kegan says, and you asked me, do I remember that? And I said, no, I do not remember that. investigators while I'm telling you. Kagan says, so I'm not lying. What if it's not him? I'm wondering from that point in time, who was with him? Whoever was with Kagan that night on the first, second, or third, and started communicating with Libby's friend, and then whoever branched off over to Libby, whoever was with Kagan that night, I think very well could be the killer. I think that's possible, or a connection to Richard Allen, something that connects Kagan and Richard Allen. Miss Thang, Chopper Harris, what's up? Jerry, what's good? Denied a bunch of stuff that he provably did. Yeah, and I don't know anymore. What's up, Chief? Good to see you. Hey, Ruckus. Good to see you, Ruckus. Sorry, I'm going to zoom through some of these. Chopper says the worrying thing for me is if a third or fourth person involved, does law enforcement know who they are and not enough evidence, or they don't know who? I'm not sure because right now I think they're just running a pressure campaign against Richard Allen, and I feel like they're bluffing a lot. But that's because I don't know what they found during their search. But it would be a great strategy if they've known that it was Richard Allen for so long. You can only hold off, for too long before you got to do something. So this could be a bold strategy. We saw some people recuse themselves. Maybe they didn't want any part of what they were doing. But they could have very well had plenty to charge him, plenty to take him to trial, but maybe not enough to get a conviction. But I think what they're hoping for is by making this play, they can squeeze something out of it, something they can use and something that'll get them to the next level. Because if you read Richard Allen's PCA, everything that you read in there is stuff that they've had from the first week of the investigation, pretty much. I think they got maybe another eyewitness that came forward, like a month later or something. But that's it. Because think about it. Richard Allen is like, let's say he never came forward. They would have came kicking down his door. And this is just a theory. They're like, okay, we have 3, 4 witnesses that saw this guy. We know that we saw his vehicle at the CPS building. We're going to go kick in his door, and we'll see if this bullet casing matches anything there. But what does old Richard Allen do? He comes forward and is like, yeah, I was there. I was even on the bridge. Yeah, so your witnesses? Yeah, I saw them too. They saw me and I saw them. Oh, that lady? Yep, I saw her too while I was out there hanging out. But I didn't see those victims. Nope. I wasn't there to meet anybody. So all the information that they had in their probable cause affidavit is now been nullified by this guy. So now what do? You have nothing. Everything that you have, basically, he's admitted to and kind of threw it out the window. So now you got to wait. You got to wait it out. You got to put pressure on the family and friends and neighbors. You never thought we would switch directions. Hey, Michelle, what is going on? Folsom Flash. I said from the beginning that I thought Richard Allen lured the girls to the bridge using the Anthony Shots profile and ended up killing the girls by himself. Yeah, and that could very well explain the others involved. That is probably the most likely thing that happened right there. Hey, Richard, good to see you. Hey, everyone. Thanks for always bringing the content, Sleuth. Yep. Chopper says, is it possible Anthony Shots account was created by someone else and KK was given access to it? I mean, it's possible. From what we see, he admits to it. Mid 2016, he's like, yeah, I created it. Question is, is that when the plan to lure two girls began? That was the account. And did somebody come forward at that point to provide the motivation? Here's a bunch of drugs. Here's a bunch of money. I need a film, or I need this, or I need that. Okay. And then from that point, they start to formulate their little strategy. That's just a weird theory, but I get that from all the Vegas stuff. So I'm really confused about that. Folsom says, I stick to that theory. Yeah, that's a good theory. That's where you should be. You're right in the center of the facts. You're in the center of the speculation. Yeah, I think that's where you should be. Troll alert. I don't see him. Do I have mods in here? Get him out of here. Tamara says, I believe KK lured them to the bridge through the Anthony Shots account. Then his Dropbox account allowed others to see where they were. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. But before we do that, actually, let's go to number 3. 8 a.m., the morning of the murders. We have 2 devices, one logging in, one logging out, the other logging in and logging out. So basically activating the account on another device. And throughout this transcript, they're extremely curious about this device. Until this day, I feel like this device is what they may have found in the Wabash River. It's just a hunch. Go ahead and put this up here for you. Okay. Investigators say, okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier. So it would have been 8 o'clock in the morning at your house where you and your dad lived. 2 separate devices. See the numbers here, how they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out, one device, log in, log out, all within minutes of each other. So it looks like what he did was he logged in, logged out, and then activated into another separate device. And probably went and logged out of that one and then went and logged into the original phone. To the same Anthony Shots Snapchat account. What 2 devices were these? This is a fact. See, they want the device. Where is the device? If Kegan's involved, it's very possible that is the killer or one of the killers. Libby takes a photo of Abby and they post it to Snapchat. Now we have the Anthony Shots account who told Kelsey that he was supposed to meet her. He didn't say, "Oh, but I decided not to go." He said she didn't show up. He could have easily been like, "Oh, I was supposed to meet her, but I had other plans." He made it seem as if I was supposed to meet her and I was out there waiting. Who was really out there? Who do we know for a fact was out there waiting at 1:30, the very time that Libby and Abby left the Patty residence? Who is there 2 minutes before 1:30? Richard Allen. And he's on a mission according to witnesses. He seems determined and ornery. Sylvia Brown says, I think Kegan is covering for his dad. I mean, he very well could be. Or somebody that they're not, a name they're not providing. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to make it seem that way. What's up, Miss Thang? Julia, good to see you. Any verification on whether or not KK did in fact search directions to the Marathon gas station that day? No. I think there may be some verification, but do I have it? No. I think that the FBI may have put out a statement actually about that and kind of giving us more details on what happened. So yeah, I think it might be a real thing. Yeah, I couldn't even see it. Is there a troll? I probably have him already blocked. You guys got to kick him out of here quickly. Michelle says, I think KK is involved, and I find it hard to believe that TK wouldn't have at least known and probably involved too, allegedly. Yeah, there's just nothing solid. But I mean, all it would take would be one piece, right? There's just a piece of a story that they don't have because somebody's withholding it. Even if KK or Kegan provided information that led to the arrest of Richard Allen, that doesn't mean that he's going to provide everything that he has. Richard, I want to thank you for that donation, sir. Appreciate you. Well, it's power for the powerless. You can talk to me like that online. Watch what I can do from a computer. I'll get you. It's kind of funny. Ivy, hello. Why send someone money? You have to be paying for service to keep them quiet. Yeah, you have the Anthony Shots money. You have what appears to be a branch off, and Kegan completely unaware of this separate conversation that's going on over here. He's like, no, I was talking to her friend. Like, why not just admit that you were talking to both of them? It really wouldn't change anything. Because he's like, yeah, I might have talked to her, but I'm kind of, I'm kind of a airhead. So I'm just telling you, I don't remember. Like, do you want me just to say yes, that was me when I really am not 100%? Beach says he seems pissed off sometimes when accused of lying to the way you do when accused of something you didn't do. Could be, well, it's not only like him getting accused of it, it's almost like, man, it's like a hard pill to swallow. It's like, man, I'm taking the blame for that too. But it's almost like there's somebody else in his ear, like, dude, you gotta take this. What's up, James? Mother of Dragons. Good to see you guys. Sorry if I missed anybody else. Cynthia, little one. Oh, we got a super chat. Let's zoom on down. Amy Lynn, what up? Too many coincidences with KK and Richard Allen. Honestly, I haven't seen anything connecting the two. It's just this timeline. I mean, it just fits. The only question is, did somebody leave Kegan's home, logging in, logging out, into some phone they plan to trash so that they could track, or maybe even left instructions for the girls like, hey, when you get to the bridge, I'm going to meet you on the south end of the bridge, but I want you to prove that you're there. Go ahead and just, upload a photo to your Snapchat. And then I'll know you're there. I'll know where you're at. But the question is, who left that home? Who left Kegan's home? Did somebody leave with that phone? Did somebody take that phone to somebody? Did somebody leave that home, pick up Richard Allen? Did they leave that home, go to somebody else's home, discuss options, and then go pick up Richard Allen? Because I'm already convinced that if Anthony Schatz is connected to the murder of Abby and Libby, that is where it started. Log in, log out, log in, log out of the Snapchat account at 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, because of time, we're going to go right over to the Vegas burner phone, Samsung Galaxy S5. Ooh, sorry, I had to sneeze. Ooh, that was a good one. Okay, this is from the arrest affidavit for Kegan Kline after they searched his home and pulled digital forensics from his devices. Pick up at the gas station. I mean, that would make sense. If you got Muddy and Bloody Guy, who was most likely going to be Richard Allen, going this way, maybe the other killer went another way. Because if you follow that creek or the private drive, or you could go right under that bridge and end up over there near Richard Allen's home. Question is, who knew about that? Or was it just luck? Didn't we hear about somebody or Kegan Kline's father fishing and hunting down there? Were we able to verify that information? It would make sense that he would know what direction to take to get out of there. Blind Squirrel, hello. Has any online true crime detectives have identified the dude with short eyes who Hannah Shakespeare mentioned in her video about Libby's social media activities? Yes. The John Blaze guy, or Blaze Jones, or yeah, he's been identified. He's actually a felon that lives in Delphi. think she mentions that. Okay, let's take a quick look at the probable cause affidavit here. And they're going over the digital forensics that was pulled, and they're talking about the Samsung Galaxy S5. This iPhone, I don't know. That's kind of strange. iPhone, I think they meant to put this phone is named Kline Photography and was factory reset approximately February 23rd, 2017. So they would have been in Las Vegas. Kegan would have been 22 years old at the time. The device was not secured with the password or PIN. Why would it be? There were numerous usernames and email addresses located on the phone. I've located those. They are listed in his interview transcript. We'll take a look here in a minute. But I just find it strange. There were some chat messages recovered from this device from MeetMe, Facebook Messenger, and Snapchat. Conversations that took place between February 23rd and February 25th discussed meeting people in Las Vegas and prostitution. In the transcript, we learn he was trying to meet somebody on Craigslist about a large amount of, I'm not exactly sure what type of, might have been, not sure, some kind of drug. All right, let's see if I pulled the right notes here. Okay. This is from his interview transcript. Unwell, let's jump another phone. Again, this is the iPhone 3. iPhone is Kegan, last utilized 2015. I think I need to go down further. Oh, here it is. And he's just listing a bunch of nasty like sites, like CSAM sites. Okay, and again, we jump to the Samsung Galaxy S5. So maybe I'll just zoom in on that part. Which was the one that you found in Vegas. Kegan says, yeah, in a rental car. Such BS. Yeah, rental car. And just in that little time, you had the phone. I mean, which was 2 days. I think you had the phone somewhere like that. A couple days, however long you were. Yeah, a couple days. And the web history that was recovered on there, I didn't even use that phone. What do you mean you didn't use that phone? See, this is going to be a good segue into number 5, which is the phonetics. Hey, Bernice. And Richard was from the area. He would tell KK and KK, Dad, where to go, what to do, etc. Yeah, he could be along for the ride. Ivy, does this sound more professionally planned every time, or is it me? Yeah, it does. Oh, and I think we skipped the whole the CSAM ring. So before we get into phonetics, let's cover that real quick because we're running out of time. Okay, this is page 52. We'll read the underlined. But when you're exchanging CSAM, that's obviously, he says, I hear what you're saying. And then when you're exchanging Dropbox links, they go to your Dropbox. That's a different story too. And he's like, what do you mean? I never had a Dropbox. Yes, you did. Did I set links for? What do you mean? Bud, from your Dropbox account off your phone, we have started one of the largest CSAM investigations ever taken in the state of Indiana. Now, they also use that as the excuse here in page 63 why they didn't arrest him. Check this out. Kegan says, okay, well, then why would it take them 3 years for them to come and get me? What do you mean? The answer is like he told you how big this investigation is. I mean, this is a lot of CSAM. So there's your answer, guys. No clerical error. They were investigating this huge CSAM ring, which Kegan was probably most likely a customer or a source. All right. Now we'll go into the phonetics here. We got about 10 minutes. Yeah, I agree with you, Glitter. I think they're both cracking. Okay. So another strange thing on the PCA that I noticed says here multiple users saved screen captures of conversations were found. In one screen capture, the sender specifically identified the receiver as Kegan. So one of these people, one of these little sea sammer catfish, um, where they create the whole Emily Ann, the young girl, and say, hey, I gained your confidence. You want to talk to my dad, but your dad is really you, the catfisher person. So Kegan would be the dad. That way, when he pops up on the screen, you're like, oh, he looks like somebody's old dad. Here, 27 images were geolocated to Indiana cities, including Bunker Hill, Galveston, Indianapolis, Kokomo, Monterey, and Royal Center. These are all locations that at one point Kegan has lived. Okay. So these are some of the strange questions and some of the stranger responses from Kegan, where he's accepting half of the story and the other half he's not. I didn't have time to grab the pages in the transcript where the investigators mentioned phonetics and how their experts don't think it's one person. But here, investigators say, so we would expect that, but you got to understand we need the answers for this, right? Because it's either it's all of you or it's you and someone else. And Kegan says, right. He's like, right. When the time is right, I'll reveal that. Kegan says, but I can't. I don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, but I can't. I see that's the part. I can't. He's like, I can't. I don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, I did not any children at all. So this is them telling him, hey, we found some stuff on your phone that was way younger than 13 and 14. And he's getting offended by this. And then he also says, why would I video chat with someone? If you know what I mean, I'm obviously not that person. Now, if you go through the information on the PCA, some of the emails that were found on some of the phones belong to his father. That is just a fact. Question is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. I mean, you made the Emily Ann account. Kegan's like, right. Okay. And you talked to the girls with it. He's like, yeah, I did. So why is he admitting that part? So some of these have to be you, right? He says, yeah. I mean, definitely. I definitely talked to these girls on there. Yeah. I'm not denying that at all. So it makes no sense for him to accept some of this stuff and not all of it. I mean, I can understand him kind of being disgusted for them bringing up the younger kids and the animal stuff. But I mean, he just continues to act like he's completely unaware of a conversation that's going on with the account that he created. Oh, I'll have to go take a look. He says, I mean, you keep talking about these little kids and stuff. I don't want to hear that stuff. Is he just acting disgusted because he knows, what normal humans would be disgusted by this? Or is he really disgusted and he's upset that he's going to have to take the blame for not only the stuff that he did, which he realizes now was horrible, but on top of that, the stuff that somebody else may have done. And I think that might have a lot to do with what was going on with Kegan's sentencing hearing, is that he's now realizing he can spend 40 years in prison, if not more. I mean, even if he could find a way to drop like 15, 20 years off of that, he's going to do it. Hey, Rebecca, 44 under, SP74. All right, guys, we have about 3 minutes. Hello, Elaine says, what is wrong with these nasty men who go after kids? A jar of Hellman's mayonnaise, and an old worn out baseball glove and go at it and leave kids alone. Well, there's something wrong. Something very, very, very wrong. And it has a lot to do with fantasies and not keeping yourself in check, not, poor parenting even. I mean, he almost seemed like he was completely unaware that it was illegal to talk to 13 and 14-year-old girls the way he was. What's up, Miss Persevere? The Rockaways. Hello. I think it means child sexual assault material. Something along those lines. What's up, Kay? Yukio. The Andrea and Jackson. What's up? Hey, Robin. Yep. We're getting ready to get out of here. Thanks, Miss Persevere. 232 in chat and only 68 likes. If you guys could hit the like on the way out, if you could. And if you are catching the replay, you know what to do. Drop a comment and we will get back to you. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Michelle. Good to see you as always. Don Spain, what's up? Always great to see you. Gail Hurd. Will do. Ruckus. Yep, Ruckus is in the house. Jesse's part of the replay crew. Probably tomorrow morning. We'll come live. We'll hang out. Talk about what we got in store for the week. Thank you, Julianne. Darren Barber. Salute. Salute to you, sir. I appreciate you. Julianne. All right, guys. On that note, I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you that participated, provided super chats, super stickers. Richard sent something to my Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon. Peace.